an incredible report about the death penalty. We've talked anecdotally about innocent people executed via the death penalty or sentenced to death but eventually exonerated before their execution. These instances alone are a strong case for eliminating the death penalty altogether, as just about every other country at our level of development has already done. But now we actually have a more extensive study into this, which was authored primarily by Professor Samuel Gross from the University of Michigan Law School. The article is called Rate of False Conviction of Criminal Defendants Who Are Sentenced to Death. It was published yesterday in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the U.S. Gross and 3 other authors reviewed the outcomes of about 7,500 death sentences handed down from 1973 to 2004. That's about 3 decades. Of that group, 117 were exonerated. That's 1.6%. Now, there has been even more time to look into all of these cases. We have more resources and time. And the authors concluded that at a minimum, 4.1% of death row inmates would have been exonerated. That's 1 out of 25 death row inmates would have been exonerated of their crimes. To put it another way, during those 3 decades, 200 additional prisoners would have been cleared of the crimes for which they were sentenced to death. They arrived at this number using survival analysis, which is a statistics tool that's used commonly in medicine to evaluate how effective new treatments are. Lewis, when you heard about these numbers, were they shockingly high, or are these not a surprise to you?
Shockingly high. I would not have predicted 1 in 25. I maybe would have predicted 1 in 100, but that is very, very high.
Is a 4 for those who like the death penalty, who think it is a good thing, is a 4% innocence rate low enough for you to be comfortable with the death penalty? In other words, is the death penalty such a good thing that you're okay with 1 out of 25 that are executed being innocent? This is not the only reason to be against the death penalty. We've talked about lack of deterrence to crime, disproportionate application to poor and minority convicts, the inhumane nature of it, the fact that it is about vengeance rather than really justice, right? There's this long list, Lewis. But how can anyone really say 4% innocent is actually okay because it's that good of a punishment?
Well, they can tell you this study is faulty, or they can just... I don't know. I don't know what they'd say. If you assume these numbers are true, I don't know how any level-headed person could tell you that it's okay.
Do you remember the 2012 Republican primary debates where Republican Texas Governor Rick Perry was asked, have you ever struggled with the death penalty because of the fact that you may execute innocent people? Rick Perry responded he had never struggled with that. The crowd absolutely loved it. And that really tells us everything we need to know about the views of the death penalty in much of this country.
Right. And of course, specifically Rick Perry, who is a complete clown.
Yeah, no question about it. This program is supported directly by you. Please go to davidpakman.com/membership to become a supporter today and get a whole bunch of great member benefits while doing it.